Moles are insectivores that eat mostly earthworms, insect larvae like white grubs, adult insects, and small vertebrates that they might find below ground. With their large scallop-shaped front feet with big claws, their very small eyes that are covered with fur, and their lack of external earlobes, they're highly adapted for life below ground. Moles, like I said, eat mostly insects and earthworms. So when they are not in a lawn situation or a turf grass situation, they are going about their lives and we typically don't notice their activity and they don't bother us. But when they get into a lawn or another turf grass situation, their tunneling activity and the mole hills that arise from them cleaning out their below ground burrows cause damage. When that damage occurs, affected individuals oftentimes turn to the internet to try and find a solution. You might find suggestions anywhere from putting juicy fruit gum in the burrow, applying an insecticide to reduce food density in the lawn, applying a toxicant to actually kill the moles or a poison to kill the moles, and then trapping. So of those options, the only method that has proven to be consistently successful through time and across the country is to trap moles. In this video and the next series of videos, I'll be teaching you how to identify the best places to trap moles in a lawn when we find their damage, and how to trap those moles using several different types of traps. Mole burrow systems can be very complex. When we're trapping moles, we want to identify longer, straighter sections of run to test to see if they're active. Moles will typically return to sections of run that are long and straight. We've created test holes, they've been replugged, and so this is a very good area to trap where we would expect the moles to return to in the next day or two. The other type of mole burrow system that we want to try and avoid, because we do not know if the moles will return, are feeding areas. Feeding areas are those areas with lots of short sections of run and many turns. As you can see, our test hole's been replugged in this long straight mole run that's running along this sidewalk. So this is going to be a good place to set a mole trap. We are going to set a Trapline Products mole trap at this location. So my first step is going to be to cut out a soil plug. This soil is very dry. It's also pretty loose. So I don't know for sure if I'm going to be able to pull out this plug as one solid piece. But that's what I'm going to attempt to do, because that will make checking this set easier in the future. All right, we've got that soil plug removed. Found a piece of glass down in there. So the next step in our process is to determine exactly where the mole tunnel is moving through here. It's just a process of feeling for that void. We're going to be feeling for a round tunnel that we can stick a couple of fingers into. What I can see is, I'll show you with my trowel, that mole tunnel comes through here just like this. So we're going to set a couple of Trapline Products mole traps. Trapline Products mole trap, it has a dog that also has a latch which will catch the jaw when open, a trigger, and then a spring that has to be loaded. So to set this trap, we got to make sure our dog is lined up the way it is right now. We're going to open the jaws, bring this catch over the jaw, hook the dog into this loop on the trigger. Currently, we have one wrap on the spring, which is not going to provide enough tension to make this trap quick and lethal like we want it to be. So we're going to wrap that spring around one more time to load it, and then gradually let off of the trigger. And now the Trapline Products mole trap is set. All right, so now I've got my trap set, and we're going to set a trap in each segment of this tunnel, one to catch the moles coming from this direction and another to catch the moles coming from this direction. So I'm going to place the trap in the tunnel, being careful to center it up along the direction of travel, and I want that trap to be relatively level. So I'm going to prop up the back side a little bit with some firmer soil. Okay, it's nice and firm. Now I'll place the second trap. We've got the concrete sidewalk here kind of guiding us in this spot. And that makes for a nice firm trap set as well. We don't want the moles to be able to push our trap out of the way when they come through, so it's important that this trap is firmly seated. And our last step in the setting process is to take our gutter spike and stake these two traps down so that a mole does not drag them away before it expires. And then we can take our soil plug and fit that back in here so that the mole is not aware that we have totally excavated its burrow because of air and sunlight getting down in there. So that's our completed set with the Trapline Products mole trap. We'll mark it with a flag so we don't forget where it's at.